Good morning, America. Today, we finally find out the result of the Gibbons vs Ogden case being held in the Supreme Court. Supreme Court Justice John Marshall, the current Chief Justice, is presiding over this case. Since February 15, 1824, a long argument has been fought between the two parties involved in this case. Representing Mr. Ogden is exiled Irish patriot Thomas Addie Emmett and Thomas J. Oakley, and representing Mr. Gibbons is U.S. Attorney General William Wirt and Daniel Webster. We go to you live now from Washington, D.C.
Mr. Ogden, would you please present your case?
Mr. Gibbons here should not be allowed to use the waterway for his steamships since I have the permit from the state of New York that allows me to have unlimited access to the waterway. Do you agree, Mr. Marshall?
I'd like to hear Mr. Gibbons' case first.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Ogden's permit came from the state of New York, but I have here a permit from the United States Congress allowing me to use the waterway. Mr. Ogden's permit came from the state, and since mine came from the federal government, mine should be more legitimate than his.
Both present a pretty good case. Would your attorneys like to add anything?
My client, Mr. Ogden, was granted the permit first. Therefore, he should have sole commerce over the waterway.
Objection! Mr. Ogden's permit was granted by a state. The waterway flows through multiple states, so therefore this is an issue of federal government versus state matters. And in this instance, the federal government should overrule the state, since Congress should have the exclusive power over interstate commerce, according to Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution.
Wow, those were some really powerful arguments. We now go to our MSNB Fox correspondent on the Hudson River to further clarify this situation.
Yes, Bill, I'm standing here on the port of the Hudson River, and by golly, is it windy and hot out here. And by hot, I mean how fired up it is getting in this court, as we saw by Mr. Webster absolutely roasting Mr. Oakley. As you know, this all started because Mr. Ogden received a permit from the state of New York to have unrestricted commerce on the river for his steamboat franchise. Then Mr. Gibbons came along with his permit from the federal Congress, which also gave him access to the same river. Now the hot topic seems to be whether or not Congress has the right to regulate commerce over states, and whether or not this monopoly by Mr. Ogden is constitutional. Back to you, Bill. What? We now return to your daily broadcast.
Now back to the...
Wow, thank you for that, Joe. We now return to the action of the... Oh wait, I'm just getting this in. We are about to hear the decision from John Marshall.
I believe you just got owned.
Over there. The court has decided that under the Commerce Clause, commerce is more than just mere traffic. Commerce is the trade of commodities. Under this definition, the court has decided that the power over commerce with foreign nations and among several states is vested in Congress. With this, Mr. Gibbons, you are the victor of this court case. Your permit allows you to access to the waterway, and the state of New York cannot deny that.
Federal government now has the ability to regulate interstate commerce. This has also given the federal government an edge in the states' rights versus federal government debates.
Thanks for joining us. From MSNB Fox Supreme News, I am